Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have to talk about some Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. And what I want to talk about is the dirty laundry specifically of Granblue Fantasy versus Rising. And when I say dirty laundry, I mean a lot of the things are in the game that you really question why they exist or why they were made in a certain way in the first place. And hopefully the developers can fix some of these things. Now, I'm not really going to pretend like, oh, all of these things are ruining the game or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they exist and they're kind of weird. And I wish they were just different. So we can talk about a lot of things. Obviously, characters and game mechanics are the most important thing here, but I also want to include a couple other things, say like Granbruise, for example, which in my opinion has been the biggest dirty laundry, the biggest piece of dirty laundry of this game on the casual aspect, which kind of sucks because Granbruise is kind of fun. When it came out, I remember it was something that I included in my routine whenever I played the game. You know, I would start the day with Granbruise, just put me in the mood, and then I would end the day with Granbruise just to take away the salt after every single session. So it was good. And unfortunately it died out, and it was something that everybody expected pretty much. The other piece of dirty laundry that is not about, you know, anything important that I really want to include too is probably the rupees and a certain system that has to do with the draw tickets, which I find really annoying and so unnecessary. So as you can see right here, I have 20 draw tickets. I had 30 earlier. I had to spend 10 because I was recording the video, and now I'm re-recording again. But basically, whenever you use the draw tickets, you use them to pull weapons for the Granbruise, right? You pull weapon skins for Granbruise, and that's just how it is. Once you have all the weapon skins, it will actually start to give you duplicates, which will be converted into rupees. Each draw that you get for rupees could go from 1 rupee to 5 rupee, which is really low. It's a really small amount of rupees. However, the biggest problem with this, and the reason why I'm talking about this, is because there's such an unnecessary system to this, because per day there is a certain amount of rupees that you can only convert. There are a certain amount of rupees that you can only get from the draw tickets. You see down there it says rupees conversions left today 22. So I can only get 22 more rupees before the game starts to deny me a certain amount of rupees. So if you have 50 draw tickets waiting in line for you to just pull them, you cannot use them all in a single day. I have 8,000 rupees left before I hit 36,000, which is the amount that you need to buy a DLC character. Getting just 1,000 rupee alone is difficult because you need to level up characters, you need to buy the battle passes as well. And just to let you know, one character you can level them up to level 155, I think, to get all of the rupee rewards, and they give you around 2,000 rupees. And then if you want to get a battle pass, the battle pass would give you around 3,700. Why on earth would they deny you 1 rupee or 5? Why would they limit that per day? That's another system that totally sucks, and that probably shouldn't be in the game right now. Okay. Alright, it's time to talk about game mechanics and characters. I think when it comes to game mechanics overall, there's a lot of things that pretty much come down to player preferences, right? The state of dash attacks, especially dash light. I think a lot of people have a lot of things to say about it. I think for the most part, the systems of the game are pretty fine. They work as intended, I guess. So there are two system mechanics of this game. I do not think they are bad. I do not necessarily consider them dirty laundry. I just question the way they are, because in my opinion, I'm a little bit on the fence when it comes to how they've been designed. So the two of them are auto combo high low, and also just defend. These two mechanics, I'm not really sure how to feel about them, because on one side I think The auto combos high-low are fine. I think they do their job. But at the same time, I cannot help but feel like this should be doing a little bit more than that. Of course, they do not have to be a combo starter into like crazy mix and stuff. No. It's just a couple pokes that add more to the mental stack, and that's completely fine. That's the kind of game that Granblue is. That's exactly what it's supposed to be. To me, that's fine. I just feel like there's something that is kind of missing when it comes to these two, but I cannot really put my finger on it. When it comes to just defend, I'm not really sure if I see the purpose of it these days, because the block button, if you don't know, cannot give you just defend. You cannot just defend with this, which it's kind of a useless downside kind of, because why does it even matter in the first place? It doesn't really do anything. So I'm not really sure what just defend does in this game anymore. I don't really think there's any purpose to it. The additional meter gain that you get from it is also kind of inconsequential, because it doesn't really lead to anything. You already get a lot of meter in this game anyways, so I'm not really sure if there's any point to that. Plus, meter management doesn't really matter too much in this, right? Of course, you don't want to throw away meter all the time, but it's not a big deal to just throw an option in this game, right? It's not that big of a deal. So just defend, not really sure what's the point of it. I wonder if they will ever plan to make a change to that. All right, now starting with the actual piece of dirty laundry, the stinky one. This one is pretty bad. Install supers. Some of you may forget that they exist in this game, especially for some characters. So obviously we know Andre has his install super. Obviously it's pretty good, right? This is one of the biggest highlights of 1.5 is that they give this character made up combos with all of this shit, and it's really awesome. I mean, you can do stuff like this, like, right? That's, come on, man, that's really cool. You cannot really deny it. It's awesome to be able to do stuff like that. But there's a lot of other insta supers in the game that are just straight up bad. Like, they're just worthless. You don't even know why they exist. And unfortunately, Seox is one of them. How many times have you seen this move? Something like this. I'm not a CX player. I don't know what you do there, but basically that's kind of what he got. It's pretty nice, pretty cool looking combo too, but the situation where you get it can be so niche, it really doesn't matter. And then on top of that, while you have the install on, you are in like a permanent meter penalty state. You do not get any meter, and as you can see up there, even after the install was gone, I was still in meter penalty for a long time during that combo. So I only built 3% after it. So there's pretty much no point to this for something that is so niche and so difficult to get anyways. There's really no reason for you to ever think about trying to use this move. Throwing away 50%, throwing away 100% is really expensive for not much of a result. And you have a character like Siegfried. They made it better or less expensive in general, but it's still not that good. So nowadays, Siegfried's install super would only cost 50% meter and will still take away 50% of his health bar. They've also made it so whenever he's low health, I believe, it doesn't take away his health anymore or something like that. So it's better. But is it really worth it? I don't think so. I think nobody wants to use this move ever. So overall, install supers are kind of a problem. And I'm extra worried about these because of a certain character that is still not in this game, that I hope is in this game in season 3. I think a lot of you would like to see him, and that's Seofan. As we know, Seofan is an eternal, very long awaited character, very popular as well. And it seems to me like the developers would like maybe Eternals to have a theme, which is with insult supers that are really long and do a lot of things. Especially if you look at the mobile game, or even if you look at Relink, for example, and how they made Steelfun in there, he really screams like he should have an insult super. So insult super is definitely a big piece of dirty laundry. Alright, another piece of dirty laundry that we really have to talk about, and that is becoming a pretty big issue of this game. To be honest, it's kind of subtle, but it's there, and that's the fake -4 moves. Fake -4 moves are starting to become a real annoyance in my opinion. They are kind of just around, they're just kind of there, and they are kind of an unfair, I would say, advantage that some characters have. Though some of them are not necessarily good characters, they're not considered like super strong, but it's still something that's just annoying, and you really question why the moves are even -4 to begin with. So what do I mean by a fake -4 move? So there are a lot of moves in this game that are pretty much like lariats, you know, big moves that go across the screen, and they're -4. In a lot of cases they have a little bit of pushback, so in the mid-screen for the most part, there's not really a way for them to be punished. They're mostly safe, right? Some of them, you do them point blank, you might get punished. Some of them, you do them point blank, they might push you out. It really depends on what the developers want from these moves in the mid-screen. However, something that is pretty common is the fact that you have -4 moves that in the corner are throw punishable. There is no pushback, and I'm in throw range right now. See, that's a throw punish. Explain to me why there's a -4 in the corner that has pushback. Vayne is kind of a new case because I think the developers, in my opinion, they have completely fumbled the bag with this character. He is a stronger character nowadays, right, compared to how he was on release. And again, it's not about character strength. Completely safe, out of throw range again. So this move used to be -6, I believe, or -8. You had to really space it out. You really had to space it out to make it safe. But nowadays, it doesn't matter. You might run at people, you might throw this, you might throw this, you might do this, you might do this, you might do this, you might do a lot of things completely safe. Our favorite move, -4, free, completely safe. Oh yeah, did I also mention this? Oh yeah, look at this, another dash attack, fake -4, also gives her a big combo on counter hit, right? Because why not? Unconditional combo starter, by the way. Gives you the red counter hit without counter hit, also gives you a combo anyways. Lariat, fake -4, and also dash medium, which is an overhead, which is another fake -4. It really doesn't matter if you block this or no in the corner. Also doesn't matter in the mid-screen, matters even less actually. So a lot of these moves, you just never get to punish them, and then you have Sentinel Fun here. Fake -4, 13 frame, throws it around for free, it doesn't really matter. -4 needs to mean something. And it's something that's also frustrating because in 1.5 they made a universal change pretty much, where a lot of moves, or ultimate skills specifically, that were -4 on block actually were not throw punishable before 1.5, and then in 1.5 they made them throw punishable. The most, I think, memorable change, the most affected character by this was probably Jita. And now you do this? Get your ass home. You cannot even space it out. You're always in throw range after this, no matter what happens. So that was probably one of the most healthy changes they made to the game. It was really good. But for some reason, there's still a lot of characters with a lot of special moves that just escape this idea of -4 being throw punishable in the corner. Mid-screen, do whatever you want, but in the corner, that should be a totally different story. The next thing that I want to talk about is combo extenders that do not launch. I am so tired of this problem. Mirrorless mid-screen combos extenders should all launch. I don't care who we're talking about. I don't care what character we're talking about. I think every single character who has a mid-screen combo extender should always launch. This has been an issue for every single top tier in this game. Every goddamn top tier character that existed in this game had a mid-screen combo extender, mirrorless, that did not launch. Most of them have been patched out. Most of them, they just made, okay, you're now launched, because that's enough, right? Seox had that before. He's actually the first one who got his to actually launch, because I remember Gate of Demons used to not launch. The flip with the fireball. Seox, Siegfried, Versusia, Beatrix, Grimner, all these characters, Belial, right? All these characters with combo extenders that do not launch is a real problem. And then they had to take them out. This thing honestly would be already a pretty significant nerf if it launched. Doesn't launch. Like, can we just agree that mid-screen combo extenders that are mirrorless all need to launch? I don't care, even if a character is not considered top tier. I do not care personally. Is there another piece of dirty laundry you would like to call out? Because this game maybe has quite a few, and like I said, it doesn't have to be gameplay wise. It can be also like you know, quality of life, user experience, and stuff like that. So let me know in the comment section below. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.